Well, I have a lot of thoughts on the game, but I probably will just settle into, we knew when we scheduled Lehigh that we were not scheduling a pushover. A team that feel like will win the Patriot League, will be right there to do it. We'll be an NCAA tournament team, and we felt like we'd have a deeper team here when we put this schedule together. So, give those guys a lot of credit. Really disappointed with our last 3 or 4 minutes of the game. We have to learn, like a lot of teams do, but I guess I'd rather lose or win and learn from it than lose and learn from it. But some of the mistakes that we made were inexcusable down the stretch, and we have to correct those very, very quickly. So that when we're in situations where we're in close games, we're able to handle end-game situations much better than we did tonight. But give Lehigh a lot of credit. We turned the page quickly and played Buffalo here on Monday.
Did you think it was a little uncharacteristic that some of those mistakes down the stretch came from veteran players like JP, Edmond, and Trayvon?
Well, I don't know if it's uncharacteristics, but I'll go back to the word I used before, and it's inexcusable. I mean, you've been on the college floor now, 3rd year. Our better players, guys that aren't playing out of position, they may be fatigued because they play a lot of minutes, but there can't be any mental fatigue in executing the end of a game. It's one thing if you miss your free throws, but we made our free throws in the second half. We just dribbled the ball away and gave them situations that they shouldn't have been in down the stretch. And I told our team a year ago, we played Miami of Ohio. No disrespect to the Red Hawks. Lehigh's a better team a year ago than Miami was. It was 7.5 minutes. We were down 1 against Miami. So we improved from that point on. Hopefully, I'd like to think that our team has the ability to do the same. But it was ugly tonight, and we have to learn from it.
Chris, what did you think about the play of your big men? There was some marked improvement over Saturday, but still...
On the offensive end, they were much more confident. They needed to rebound the ball a little bit better than they did. But they had a huge challenge. Tim Kempton got the best of them. And there's a reason he's on the Abdul-Jabbar list. He's one of the best bigs in the country, and he showed it tonight. And that he won't be our first challenge. We have to be a little bit better defensively on a guy like that than we were. At times we did a really good job. And then it would be bucket, bucket, bucket. And that can't happen. Awareness, readiness, toughness, ball pressure, all those things have to be better. The game flipped a little bit in the first half because of our foul trouble. And we have to figure it out as coaches what we can do to not be in that situation. It happened in our scrimmage, which guys don't get penalized in scrimmages. You don't have to pull them out. They could have 9 fouls if you want. It happened in the exhibition game. It happened in our home opener. And it's no secret right now we don't have a ton of depth. So we have to figure out a way to defend without fouling much better than we have.
Chris, on that note, when you get, Malcolm rolls an ankle or someone gets in foul trouble, do you guys feel confident and feel like you know where you're going with your rotations, or is that all kind of piecework with your short bench right now?
Well, it's not algebra. You don't have to look down there, and there's not 16 different options. It's like 2 or 3. And so, our challenge is, do we want to go big, where we play, Sean and Rashid together, Tyreek and Sean together, or do we want to go smaller? If Malcolm twists his ankle, we have 4 scholarship guys between, those 4 guard positions. And so it makes it a little bit difficult. So right now, to answer your question, probably a little bit of it will be based on the opponent. When they had their kid in, Hoba, who's more an athlete than a three-point shooter, it was easier for us to go with double bigs. When they had Andre in there, who's a big-time shooter, it's a little bit more difficult for us to go with 2 traditional bigs. I don't worry about the offense. We'll figure it out whether we have 4 bigs or 10 guards in there. It's the defense that concerns you when you're trying to match up.
Did you think you were better going big or small tonight, or was it a little bit?
It just depended on who they were playing a little bit. So Our bigs play a little bit better, but again, we had them down 12 or so in the first half. We got in foul trouble, and we had to go to a zone defense, not because we felt like it would be the most effective defense, but we couldn't afford to have any more guys in foul trouble. We don't have enough guys on the bench. And when we did that, they carved it. And we may have to figure something else out here to win games.
Now, for a game where you have some things that you're not pleased with, better to go back out there and play on Monday? Or would you like to have some practice time in between there?
I'll answer that on Monday night after the game. No, I think it's always good when you can show your players film from tonight's game and where we really made mistakes. I thought there were some things that we improved in from our time after Ferris State, and then there were some things that maybe weren't exposed against Ferris State that we learned a little bit more. At the end of the Ferris State game, it was a 24-point game, and we weren't in situations where we had to inbound the ball against pressure and show the same press offense 4, 5, 6 possessions in a row. Other team gets a beat on it. Now they're going through the passing lanes. And so, again, being able to finish games, take care of the ball, not turn it over, play more like it's the game's on the line versus the game's just beginning down the stretch. That's a huge area of growth for this team, at least after tonight.
How would you assess Quentin and Tyreek in their first game?
I thought Tyreek gave us great energy. He did his job. He didn't necessarily produce a lot on the stat sheet, but I thought, for going up against a big-time player in Kempton, I thought he gave great energy. He rebounded, he defended. He's going to be a really good player for us. I think Quentin's got to quit playing scared. He's got to quit playing scared. And maybe it's my job to, not jump him and be on him so that I don't want to create that for him. But I want our guys to attack. I want him to, play basketball the way I saw him when we recruited him. Put your head down, get to the basket, make guys better. So part of it is he's got so much that he's trying to think about when you play quarterback, when you play the point guard position. So, but he's got to play more aggressive and less scared, and he will. He's going to be a really good player.
Were you pleased with Trayvon's grit? He seemed to really step it up physically there in the second.
He rebounded the ball well and made some big-time shots. He got a couple second possessions through some other guys' efforts too. A guy like Tyreek keeps it alive and made some big-time plays. Trey, he didn't play very well defensively, at least down the stretch. And we can say, well, he played 37 minutes. He's on the perimeter a little bit, but still want to win. Still got to be able to do your job and be better than he was. And I know he's got it in him. But he's a big-time player. He was very, very efficient. Leads us in rebounding. And we just maybe we won't win the game. Trayvon doesn't play the way he did down the stretch. Thanks. Congrats.
Before we get started, so that they don't have to answer these questions, I just wanted to update you. A couple of you have asked me about Miles Davis because he wasn't here because of some of the news that happened this week. His status has not changed, and I just want to let you know that if it does change and we have something to announce, we'll certainly let you know. Questions for Edmund and Sean?
Edmund, it seemed like a mixed bag for you guys up there tonight. How would you assess your defense as a team?
We have a lot to improve on. But, it was some good and bad. We're still learning as a group. We got to just capitalize more. Like, we started off the game real good with stops. Started off with 2 kills, which is 3 stops in a row, so 6 stops. We kind of fell off, depending on our offense because we were kind of hot. So we just have to be a lot better on defense.
It seems like you and Trayvon and Sean were among the ones that came up big when you guys fell behind to get back on top. But then you had some mistakes in the last minute. JP had turnover, you had a foul, Trayvon had a foul. How would you sum up that last minute and kind of some of the mistakes there by you guys that are the veterans?
For us to be veterans, we have to do a lot better, including myself being the point guard. Turned it over like 3 times in a row. JP, then I turned it over, and then got a foul. This is very sloppy. We work on that in practice, so it's no excuse, especially for us veterans who've been here. Just got to hone in more at the end. We was just a little careless with the ball. That's really it.
Sean, I'm sure Coach Mack challenged the big men after the Ferris State exhibition. How important was it for you to come out tonight and get off to a fast start, personally?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we want to as players, competitors for our team. We want to be the best bigs we can be. I don't know if it was as much, obviously we want to play better after the Ferris State game, but Coach Mack really just instilled confidence in us. For him to come out and just basically stay with us in practice, making sure we're getting all our reps, getting everything we need to have straight, and, for us to come out here and, perform a lot better is just, proof of how good of a coach he is as far as instilling confidence in his players.
How difficult was it to defend Kempton tonight?
He's a good player, man. No, he's really good. I felt like in man, I was a lot more comfortable guarding him just because that's something that I go against, from my freshman year here, I had Matt Stainbrook, then James Farr, then Jalen Reynolds, I've played at, Rashid and Tyreek. I've played against a lot of guys man-to-man, which is what we usually do. So I felt really comfortable in man-to-man defense against them.
Anything else?
Edmund, what was the message you guys got heading into that last possession there at the end when they had the chance to?
On defense?
Yeah.
To be ready. I knew they were going to try to get Austin an open 3, so I just wanted to stay locked in, especially I know how good of a shooter he is. So we just wanted to run him off the line.
And Austin was your high school teammate?
Yeah, he was my high school teammate.
Did you have a chance to talk to him tonight?
I haven't talked to him yet. I probably shoot him a text when I get back in the locker room.
Anything else?
Sean, how would you assess just the overall play today of the team? It's game 1, so what do you take away from that?
Yeah, Ed touched on it. We're going to have growing pains as a team, defensively especially. It's the first time we haven't done a ton of situational stuff because it's obviously early in the season. We haven't seen it live or anything like that. So to have errors at the end obviously isn't acceptable, but at the same time, like you said, we're going to grow. We're going to become better as a team. Same thing as last year. We're looking to just keep moving forward as a team.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. You came here with no slacks on?
Oh yeah, no socks, no shoes. My feet, can't you?